First of all, let me say thank you to the Hattiesburg community. Thank you to all the fans that showed up. It was good to be home. Second of all, I can't tell you how proud I am of this football team, this football organization. They made a choice to respond instead of letting last week beat you twice. They made a choice to respond. They made that choice on the way home from last week's game. They followed it up with the best week of practice we've ever had. So now we know what it looks like. Now we've got to repeat that every week, but I can't tell you how proud I am of this football team. Every player in that locker room, every adult, every coach, every assistant, every administrator, heck of a job tonight. Really good, really proud of everyone.
Coach, last week you guys had a tough time in the red zone. Tonight, 5 of 5, all 5 touchdowns. What was the biggest difference tonight?
I don't know. These guys over here did a podcast that we were bad in the red zone, so we spent 3 hours this week just on red zone alone. We didn't do anything. We didn't stretch. We didn't tape ankles. We just said we were going to get better in the red zone. So I commend the offense. I commend the offensive staff. They did a hell of a job of fixing problems. That's what you do. Showed up good tonight. Really good job by the players taking on the challenge. I told them we were obviously the worst red zone team in the country. Missed opportunities last week that we didn't miss today. And they took on the challenge, and they improved. They responded. Really good job.
Speak to Braxton's play in the red zone, had some big runs, instinctive runs, had some big boy throws.
Yeah, I think, again, just, when you have failure, you learn from it. Last week a little bit was pressing a little bit, told them they just go play. I told them before the game, I said, guys, I just want you to go play hard. Like, if you make a mistake, it's on me. Like, don't worry. And if you watch the game, we were probably playing a little too hard. There were a couple times where we just overran, some plays and let the high school quarterback scramble out of there type of deal. But those are things that you live with. You'd rather say whoa than sick them. And I just told them, just go play hard, man. Solve your problems with aggression. We'll figure it out. And I thought that's what they did. Took a little bit of the pressure off of them to be perfect. And there's a fine line. We still had some undisciplined penalties that we don't want to have, but there's a fine line between playing with really good intensity and not going above and beyond. It's easier to correct than to kind of try to speed them up. I didn't think we played very fast last week. Didn't think we played very physical last week. And I thought we did a much better job. I thought we dominated today. It was a war out there. I thought we dominated up front. I thought we dominated in the back end. I thought we were flying around. I thought we were physical. I thought we threw the ball down the field. We ran the ball in between the tackles. Really good job by the players.
Coach, you're talking about responding a lot from last week. What did you really see from the defense, responding, into next game?
I think, last week we played good in the second half. And I think we just pointed out the things in the first half that put us in a bind. Last week it was more of you get 2 plays there that kind of stun you, and then you're not able to kind of, rebound. So we talked about they coming out striking fast, not letting one play kind of carry over into the next. Coaching-wise, we made some adjustments on what we were kind of giving the kids as far as options of how to play certain things or whatever. I think it helped them play a little bit faster. We changed some of the way we did things just based on what they do schematically, obviously. And I thought the kids responded. They didn't play. Last week I thought we were a little apprehensive after the first couple plays, like, I don't want to make a mistake, typical. And that's why I told them, just cut it loose. Just go play. We obviously coach. There's a lot of things we got to get cleaned up. Obviously, we got to try to get the quarterback on the ground. Some of the screen passes in there with the 3s and the 4s in the game. Still got to get those to play a little bit more consistent. But those are things that you can, as the game goes on, you can keep teaching. You keep teaching from those things. It's probably, 42-10 realistically without, some of the scrambles. Now, some of the things we're in defensively, you're going to give up that, right? We're not rushing. We're rushing 3 and 4, trying to keep guys back in coverage so you don't give up the big one. Obviously, you got to try to get the quarterback on the ground when he does start to scramble. But some of the defenses that we were playing, same thing on offense, were because of the position we were in, if that makes sense, which we still got to get cleaned up, but it changes a little bit when you teach, kind of how you teach from it. Hey, situationally, yes, we don't want to give up the deep pass, but fundamentally we still have to tackle, if that makes sense. They may gain 10, they may gain 12, can't gain 70. So those are things we can teach from.
On defense, you said at the beginning of the season that they had to earn the name of the Nasty Bunch. after 5 games? Do you think?
No, I don't think we're there. I mean, you guys have been here a long time. That group's special. I mean, that group doesn't allow, when the 3s and the 4s go in, doesn't allow 14 points or whatever it may be. But I think we're chasing greatness. I think that's what we're doing, because we are starting to see, some consistent play. We're starting to see some dominant play. If I just wanted to kind of earn the title, we'd probably keep the 1s in the whole game and not let them gain an inch. But that doesn't help us down the road. That doesn't help us development-wise. But we're chasing, greatness. And I don't think statistically we'll ever be the same. The game has changed. But you guys been here a long time. Those guys were different. We're close. We're getting better each week. The one thing that I do think the Nasty Bunch was, they were consistent. It wasn't one game, a good half, one game, a bad half, one game, 3 or 3.5 really, really good quarters. So we still got to earn a little bit of that. But I think we're chasing what has been a standard around here for a long time.
Coach, defensively, but may have gotten lost in the wash a little bit. Their tailback coming in, averaging 6 yards a tote, and gashed a few teams pretty good. I think you guys held them to about 82, 85 yards a night, and less than 4 yards a carry. Kind of speak to the plan going in and how you feel it's executed.
Yeah, every time there's a good player, you guys should put out those podcasts, because whenever you put out that this kid's 3 in the country, 2 in the country, our guys get a little pissed off. So I don't know who we play next week, but put something out tonight. Say that they're the best ever. So everybody go watch their podcast. So, because whatever they say, our guys get pissed off. So that's the second time in a row you guys been wrong now. 0-2. Well, the guy from App State, he's going to run all over us. Nope. Well, the guy from Jacksonville State, nope. So next week, I don't know who we play. Whoever, ourselves. Put something out. Yeah, put something out about the bye team running back, please, so we can get better. I think it's a little bit, and I joke with you guys, but I think it's a little bit of, we can't determine what you do when you play someone else. We can't determine how you play the weeks before us. But what we can determine is how we prepare, how we put a game plan in, how we execute on Saturdays. So there's going to be good players. There's good players in this league. There's good players at this level. But we can't control, because someone rushed for 362 yards the week before, how we prepare. We have to prepare every week to be the best team on the field in all 3 phases, and I think we're learning how to do that. Obviously, we still have to continue to do that, but we're learning how to do that. Not necessarily there yet, but learning.
Coach, earlier when you mentioned this week in practice being your best so far, and what you just mentioned about preparation, what went into this week making it your best so far?
Well, there was a stern conversation on Sunday that probably just wouldn't be enough bleeps to go out for me to tell you what I said to him. But there was a challenge. We can't say what we want to be and then not prepare the right way. A lot of it has to do with when you leave this building. Are you watching extra film? Are you getting treatment? Are you having extra walkthroughs? And then when you're at practice, what's your intent? What's your intent, right? You can go to practice there's a million people in the world that go to work. But are you going to work every single day and trying to be the best version of yourself? And I thought, last week, and again, I won't say bad, but I thought last week we just kind of went, I won't say through the motion, we just kind of showed up. It was okay. But you can't prepare okay and expect to play great. You have to assume, we talk about appropriate fear, you have to assume that the team you're going to play is going to play the best game they've ever played every week. You can't wait around for them to turn the ball over. You can't wait around for them to drop a pass. So you have to prepare every single week like, I'm going to get their best. And when you do that over the course of the season, you improve. That doesn't mean because we had a good week of practice we come out and play well. But what it does is the preparation is the spark. Game day is the flame. You cannot have a flame without a spark. You can have a spark, no flame. But you can't get a flame without a spark. So we have to do the preparation part first in order to try to get a flame on game day. Hopefully the guys understood that. I thought they responded well. We got to do it again. We got a bye week. We got to obviously improve on some things, make some adjustments on some schematical things, get some guys developed, and then we got to go do it again.
Anything else? Coach, thank you.
Really appreciate you guys. Again, everyone, the kids groups that were here today, all the groups that came with us in the Eagle Walk, thank you. Every cheerleader, band, DJ Cujo, everyone. It's a special environment. It really is. And I know, obviously, we've had a few games in a row, but it really is a special environment. So thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate each and every person that showed up, cheered, tried to make it, couldn't make it, tailgated, the whole nine. So really good job today. Got to get better for next week. Southern Miss?
Jeff, obviously you missed last week, and then came this week and really just had a dominant game on the ground. Just talk about, kind of Coach was talking about y'all's preparation this week being better than it was last week. Can you just talk about that and how it showed up today?
I don't feel like we prepared great last week. Didn't watch film, didn't show up to practice, and it showed in the game. We flipped the switch, did a little bit more film study this week, practiced a lot better with more energy, and it showed on game day.
Coach Huff really talked about having to respond after losses. What really goes into, responding, into a week and then, coming out with a win?
I think hard work. Hard work goes with winning, and it goes with losing and learning. At the end of the day, you got to just attack it again just as much as you attacked it the time when you lost to progress.
Speak to y'all's physicality. I thought maybe this was y'all's most physical game up front. Your guys in front of you, and obviously the touchdown run. You ran hard, a lot of physicality. Did you guys see you guys taking the next step in that regard?
I feel like lately we've been putting the ball in the air a lot, so I feel like it's a different flow for us to put the ball on the ground and to be a lot more physical and control the game. I feel like being able to do both is going to get us to where we want to be at. And we have to start somewhere, and I feel like tonight we really started with getting the O-line on point and on board with being physical and running the ball.
About running the ball and the O-line being a little bit more physical than we've seen them, do you think that contributed to what I would call a versatile run game tonight with multiple running backs?
Of course. You never just want to run one guy into the ground, and being able to substitute backs allow us to be as healthy as we could be, because it's a long season, and it also gives the quarterback a lot more room to wiggle around and do what he need to do. So I do believe in playing multiple guys is the best thing to do, so that we stay fresh and we stay fast.
With next week being a bye, just how do y'all carry this momentum into the league next game?
I don't really know how to answer that. We got a bye week, so we're gonna take it like everybody else take it, but we still gonna work and then prepare for the next teams coming up. I don't know what that is.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Jeff.
Sir.
Michael, can you just talk about the defense's scheme coming into this game against a really good rushing attack, and you really bottled up their starting running back really well tonight?
Well, I feel like the scheme was simple. Keep it simple. I feel like the best thing that we do as a defense is communicate and line up. So keeping things simple in the play calling allows us to communicate faster, line up faster, and when we communicate and line up, we're one of the top defenses in this conference and in the league. So
You guys had that turnover on their first drive of the game. How important was that? Just kind of set the tone, for the rest of this night.
I feel like that was very important. We talk about turnovers all week. We talk about scoring each game as a defense. So I feel like creating takeaways, creating turnovers is something we emphasize each week, and that's something we emphasize at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes in practice. So I feel like it's going to translate to the game.
Going back to last week, you guys go from the coverage bust to consistent, 3-and-outs, punts, and then this week it becomes turnovers and sacks and whatnot. So what goes into that gradual growth?
Like I said before, it's just game plan being simple. The game plan was real simple. Usually, prior to, we'll have all this different stuff going into the game just to scratch it and run new stuff because their offense adjusts. They don't run necessarily the same things they did last week because they want to scheme for our defense. So with this week, it was more keeping it simple. We adjust great, Like last week after halftime, we adjusted. This week, we kept it simple. So when we adjust, there's not too much other defense we have to think about because we already came in simple. So I just feel like keeping the game plan simple and us just adjusting was the biggest difference.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
JJ, how big was it to get that strip sack there for the first play of offense for them?
Big. It gave us momentum on defense and just lit that flyer for us.
Coach Huff really talked about responding from last week's loss into this game. What, for the defensive side, what really went, into preparation, for this week and how to translate, to the field tonight?
We just took it personal throughout the week, like intensity on our preparation, and we just decided to be us.
You talk about y'all coming into this week. They had a running back that was putting up some yards, 6 yards a carry. You guys pretty much kept him in check for most of the night. He didn't gouge out like he's done some of the other teams. Kind of talk about the plan going into this, kind of take him away from them.
Coach Seymour just trusting us, allowing us to be dominant, and trusting our front. We all played for each other, and we took it personal with that running back coming in here into the rock, and we just defended it.
Any other questions for JJ?
With 3 turnovers and one of them being a score, for this defense, how special, is this group that you've seen, so far on the defensive side?
We just got a different type of love for each other. We just show up for each other every game, and we just feed off each other. Once one, like that spark, that's turned to a big fire for all of us, and we just put on the show.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, JJ.
Thank y'all.